Day 7 or maybe day 8 of our adventure in Australia. We're heading out of Kalgoorlie this morning, heading down towards Norseman to start our trip across the Nullarbor. The trip across the Nullarbor is considered to start at Norseman if you're heading east like we are, so from WA into SA. So we'll start at Norseman and finish at Ceduna, way over on the other side. Not sure how far that is away, but it's a bloody long way. So we're currently heading down towards Norseman before basically doing the big left turn and heading east. I think it's Highway 1, Route 1, otherwise known as the Air Highway. Day 8, and we stopped overnight at this place called Newman Rock, which is on the Air Highway, round about an hour and a half east of Norseman. As you can see, it's raining. We set up camp last night round about 4:30, and by 5:30 the rain had set in, and it's been raining all night. Newman Rock is a typical camp area on the highway. These are dotted all the way along. This one has no facilities, and we're about 600-700 metres from the highway itself, so a bit of peace and quiet. There are around about another 7 or 8 at least caravans, campers dotted around this site. Should be able to see 2 right in front of me now, and another one over there. We're heading east towards the Nullarbor. Still got a very long way to go. The rain is disappointing. I think it's going to be hanging around for the rest of today. Baladonia is the next point of interest, and I think that's only a point of interest because it's the start of a 90-kilometre straight stretch of road. The sign should really be self-explanatory. We've now got a long straight ahead of us. Still a long way to the Nullarbor, and the weather is still pretty inclement. Day 10 brings us to Nullarbor Roadhouse. We stayed here overnight. We decided to stay on camp rather than off grid, although these roadhouses are very basic. This one has powered sites but no water. The roadhouses don't normally consist of much. This one actually has accommodation as well. So if you're feeling a bit flush, you can rent yourself a little apartment. This is the 4th roadhouse we've encountered east of Norseman. Baladonia was the 1st, Ceduna the 2nd, Cocklpiddy the 3rd, and Medora, this one, the 4th. First one was okay, we just stopped there for a drink. The second one was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, smelled like something had died inside. format is generally the same. A gas station, normally selling very expensive gas, be it diesel or petrol. I think at Ceduna yesterday we paid $2.50 a gallon. That compares to $2 or less than $2 we'd be getting in civilization. All the roadhouses have a camping area and a bit of reception stroke bar stroke cafe, as does this one. I've just had a tour of this little rig. The driver saw me videoing and struck up a chat and gave me a little show round. He's a semi-retired driver, Greg. He drives west to east coast on a regular basis, probably once a week. Normally goes around the top rather than across this way. But yeah, nice chap. Showed me in the cab. I stuck a couple of pictures on. Not easy because it is quite cramped in there, believe it or not. And he's heading back up towards New South Wales, somewhere up towards the Queensland coast. Nice chap. The road ahead is pretty straight. In fact, we've got a bend coming up. This is the format of the road all the way. Varying lengths of straight, interspersed with the occasional bend. The straights can be anything from 1 or 2 kilometres to, I think the longest so far is 140 kilometres of straight road. Some quality roadhouse food. Where are we? We're at, I don't know where we are. Mumdrabilla. I think that's almost right. Anyway, quality food. This is Mundrabilla Roadhouse. This one appears to be much more of a truck stop than the last one. Loads of big rigs parked around. And of course, loads of campers, caravans. We're back on the road, heading east again. Just been overtaken. We've just left the Mundrabilla Roadhouse, which is the second from last roadhouse before we cross the border between Western and Southern Australia. We're well and truly into South Australia now. We've been looking for our wonderful viewing point of the cliffs, but that's clearly not on this part of the road. There are some viewing points, but they're not the spectacular views that we're expecting. So we'll keep pushing east and see where we come out. Day 11, I think. Bit difficult to keep track of time when we're out in the sticks like this. This makes it our third day on our trip across from Norseman. We stopped last night at this rest area. We are the only people here, which is quite surprising because there are a lot of campers and caravans along the road. Clearly no one else wanted this spot. The weather is a bit disappointing. Currently quite windy, not very warm. Probably high teens. The rain has chased us all the way across the south. We should probably be grateful for that in all fairness. It has been raining on and off overnight and this morning. It's meant to be very dry. I think 25 mil of rain a year would be the average. We seem to have had all of that in the past few days. For today, we'll carry on with our eastward journey. I think the Nullarbor Roadhouse is next, not too far away. Certainly drop in for a cup of tea or a coffee and a bit of a break. The highway's over there, around about 500-600 metres away. The traffic does run all night, and when I say the traffic, I mean the road trains. No one else will be driving at night. Too much danger of hitting an animal, a big roo or something. But the truckies, they keep going. So all through the night we can hear them going by, although right now it does appear to be a bit quiet. And when I say all night, I don't mean a continuous stream. You may get a big road train come through every 15-20 minutes. The Nullarbor Roadhouse, which is the beginning of the Nullabor proper. It's raining, quite incredibly. Apparently it was mid-40s a few days ago. We are currently at around about, I don't know, 21, 22 degrees and light rain. Who'd have thought it? Happy birthday to Karen, happy birthday to Karen, happy birthday dear Karen, happy birthday to you.
Cheers, 58.
We've just dropped off the air highway. We're going to take a drive down towards the coast and the Head of Bight observation post. Apparently this is the place to see whales, if you're in season, which we're not. Being March, we're a long way out of season. I think it's May through to August is when the whales will be present. But still, be worth a visit. We'll have a look out over the sea. The traffic on the highway consists of three main groups. You've got number one, the campers and caravans, people like us. I think that's probably the majority of the traffic, closely followed by the road trains, and then behind that we've got everything else, which is generally cars and vans. The speed limit's 110 k's. We are sitting at around about 85, 90. Everything else is sitting at 110. So anything that comes up behind us does pass, and that does include the road trains. That's normally quite interesting when you're getting a big 3-trailer rig going by. I would describe the trip across the Nullabor proper, and by that I mean between the signs saying the west end of the Nullarbor plain and the east end of Nullarbor plain, being quite disappointing really. They weren't very far apart, maybe 50, 60k. I'll check offline and have a look. After dropping off the end of the Nullarbor, it didn't actually take too long before the scenery dramatically changed. Lots more trees, a bit more up and downy on the road rather than just flat and straight. So we continued on east as we have been doing, and eventually decided to come down here to where we are now, which is Scott's Beach or Scott's Bay. In fact, we didn't decide to come here, we were trying to get to somewhere else. I think it's called Mexican Hat. But after some somewhat interesting rides down some very narrow, sandy and rutted single track off-road or dirt track, we eventually managed to find our way to here. This is pretty spectacular, or would be, if it was a bit more cheerful with the weather.
If the sun was shining and less windy.
Unfortunately, we have grey skies and a strong wind blowing, coming in from the sea, which is off behind us, or in fact to my right as I'm facing the camera. We are the only people on this camp, the only vehicle here at the moment. But yeah, this is pretty cool. for Karen's birthday. Happy birthday, Karen.
Thank you.
Maybe the cloud will clear and we'll get to see some stars tonight. I don't think so. I don't know how long the weather's with us for. But yeah, not too good at the moment. But it's warm, 20 odd degrees, I guess. It's stopped raining right now. And yeah, we're enjoying a cup of tea. There's a view for the morning. Day 12 of our Australian adventure and day 5 of our cross-continent trip from Norseman across to the South Australian side. We spent last night at this place called Scott's Beach Campground, tucked down on Fowler's Bay, overlooking the Great Australian Bight. The weather is still pretty poor. It didn't rain last night, but it threatened it, being very blowy and windy. I had to move the van. Probably sit there just tucked behind some gorse bushes or whatever they are. We have now actually crossed the Nullarbor, and today will take us up to Ceduna, which is the far end or the east end of the journey, which brings us a bit more back into civilization. This is where I moved the van to last night. We were originally parked just off behind me to my left, but we were getting knocked around really badly by the wind. The somewhat enthusiastically named Windmill Museum tells us we're close to journey's end in terms of our transcontinental trip. This is Penang, and pretty much every video you see of people going across the Nullarbor has the Windmill Museum. Next port of call will be Ceduna, which will be the end of our transcontinental trip.